Muy buenas a todos y a todas, bienvenidos a TriSPGaming. Yo soy MSP y aquí seguimos con Vampyr. Después de habernos cargado al Skull este especial que había aquí, que nos... la que resultó bastante fácil. No hay... Esto es el contraataque ese que tienes, este es el ataque normal. Vale. Devuelve la cartera, elabora un tratamiento para el agotamiento. Vale. Supuestamente ya lo habíamos visto todo por aquí. Estaría bien de que este modo también nos dijese qué es lo que podemos coger, porque creo que nos podemos dejar cosas. Y me molesta bastante, la verdad. Porque tampoco... Coño, susto, joder. ¡Hola! Perfecto. Parece que brillan bastante, así que tampoco puede que nos saltemos cosas, es verdad. Brillan bastante. Aquí alguien se ha metido para la derecha. Que no me da. Mierda, tío, quiero... Ahora tengo que matar a tengo que matar a uno cuanto antes. Ya este. Vale. Es hacerlo antes. Ahí. Es hacerlo porque lo que tiene que darle es como el golpe que das. Eso. Vale. Vale, pues ahí me ha dado. Hay... Parece que se hacen inmunes, tal vez. O a lo mejor no le he timeado bien esa vez. Vale, esto es para salir. Sí, parece que tenemos que salir de aquí, así que vamos a alargarnos. Pues sí, vámonos de aquí. Sí, parece que... Porque cuando haces que le das a la I, que es una especie de contraataque, hace así como un golpe que sale como una onda de oscuridad enfrente suyo. Parece que lo que tiene que hacer es que la onda le dé al enemigo donde está haciendo el ataque, entonces lo tiras. Lo que pasa es que parece que en la tercera vez no ha funcionado. O se vuelven inmunes, que no creo, o no sé cuánto aturdimiento puede llegar a quitar. O sea, cuántos golpes de aturdimiento, porque cada golpe es un... Parece que mínimo 2. Veo mínimo 3, porque es lo que hemos hecho, que le hemos dado y le hemos tirado al suelo. Vale. Ah, vale, eso entrar al hospital. Vamos a ir a hablar primero con el hombre este, que el de la ambulancia, que no me acuerdo cómo se llama. ¿Dónde está? Está en la puerta, ¿no? Supongo.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. At the same time.
A ver, que lo hago.
It's locked, all right.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana.
Ahora ya no es doctor.
I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian.
What do you mean? You used to be a doctor?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by...
Why should I?
A ver, esto voy a sentarlo un poco así porque me interesa poco, la verdad.
How did you...
After I left the army, I worked as an
interesting point of view.
Sir, as a medic during the war.
¿Ves? Una pista sobre él. Nos conocemos.
Have we met?
I don't think so, sir.
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago.
Hostia.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir.
Why do you have to...
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them.
Ah, vale.
Why close the...
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic.
A pawn...
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For us...
Who comes here?
I'm very cautious, sir.
Nah, vendía con cualquier persona.
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
Puede ser.
I believe we must do all the good.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality?
I don't think so. Don't...
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chid.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man.
Do you
Qué raro, ¿no? Qué diálogo más raro.
As I said, sir, everything decays.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you?
Yes.
De momento no me
Goodbye,
interesa.
Mr. Chid.
Una carta arrugada. Fue ahí donde se ponía todo esto, tío. Carta arrugada. Amor mío, al fin he reunido todo el dinero que pedía el conductor de la ambulancia por llevarte al hospital. Ahora no te preocupes por nada. Preocúpate solo de ponerte bien. Ya me he encargado yo de todo. Les he preguntado a los vecinos y me han dicho que ese Hooks es un auténtico sinvergüenza, aunque podemos fiarnos de él. Pide más dinero, pero a cambio nos garantiza una cama. Siento haberme negado a pagar en un principio. Ahora me di cuenta de que lo importante es que te pongas bien cuanto antes. Me han dicho que el hospital primo Pembroke es un buen lugar, a pesar del comportamiento de ese Milton Hooks. Te prometo que todo va a salir bien. Iré a verte tu cama limpia lo antes posible. Con cariño, Nikolai. ¡Qué hijo puta! Tengan piedad, dependen de ustedes. Necesitan enfermeras, pregunten más cercana, empleo, nacional, bla, bla. ¡Qué hijo puta!
Good evening, sir.
I don't know if a third opinion is needed.
I see.
I'm Harvey Fiddick.
Nada. Madre mía, te puedes poner aquí a hablar con gente hasta que te sangren las orejas.
Tell me about...
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his
I
arm.
was more curious.
I'm a carpenter.
Are you
Well,
I won't...
No.
are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed?
In other circumstances, you... Tell me about the...
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both...
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals.
Vale, no se ponen de acuerdo en su enfermedad.
Goodbye for now, Mr.
I will not let you down, my
But in
boy.
the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, Doctor.
Dr. Reed, I am through Strickland.
Este es uno de los que están peleando. Vale.
Please, could you...
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood trans...
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired...
It's always a pleasure to share.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it. I'd rather not talk about it.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain...
You're not the first one to
Vale.
warn me, but I am...
Vale.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research.
Do you want me to play the...
Oh no, Dr. Reed.
I see. Well,
Mira la misión.
You seem...
I'm convinced that this
Questions
Bla,
true.
bla, 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 bla. Buah. Perdonad que me salte cosas, pero es que hablan demasiado, tío. Es impresionante lo que pueden llegar a hablar.
Good evening, sir.
Reed, yes, I've been informed.
Does my arrival...
Let us just say
Bla,
that
bla, bla.
If you have a problem with me...
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence.
I know we've never met before.
Pero ahí al tío que te
But I
importa.
have heard about you, Dr. Reed.
La hostilidad está de más.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this.
Si te arranco la cabeza o te sorbo hasta el cerebro, ¿qué?
Is longer than mine.
¿Qué tal?
Perhaps you can tell me more about
Let's just say I'm tired of the
carelessness.
We're here to save lives. The people who trust...
I don't intend to run any radical experiment.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work.
Ah, vale. Es una persona
Tell
muy
me,
recta.
Waverly, what do you think of Dr.
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure. But my young...
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feel...
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
Thank you for your...
Vale, hemos obtenido una esta más que no sé si es para hablar con este o con este.
Good evening. And good evening. Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
A ver.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him? Or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father. Ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Vale.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior.
No, para nada.
A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Y ahora podemos hablar con este, madre mía.
Good evening, Mr.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any...
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Su mujer murió por su
How could
culpa.
your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
What?
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no
Puede que sí, puede que no.
I just know that I'm all that me kid.
Goodbye for now.
Entonces ahora podría hablar con este para decirle, oye, que...
I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
I'm quite...
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You
Que
see,
inventó la transfusión.
that is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
It seems you have bad memory.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in...
We can at least agree on something. Thank you for your...
Parece que aquí ya no podemos hablar más, ¿no?
Good evening. What do you think of Dr.
Madre
Ackroyd's
mía.
aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all...
I believe
Blah,
that if
blah,
Dr.
blah, blah.
Ackroyd had been the...
So you believe it's just a question of...
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is...
Goodbye, Doc.
Parece que no tenemos más...
I'm quite...
Thank you.
Uf. Madre mía, te puedes tirar aquí hablando con gente, pero como 10 años.
Yes, Doctor?
Exactly how bad?
It really depends.
Why then do you always work?
At the Pembroke, we're always
Your dedication to
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor.
Madre
lack
mía.
of sleep and the medical profession always...
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital.
Pues tienen que
Please,
estar
could you point me in the direction
haciendo
of the
turnos,
morgue
madre
again?
mía, sin dormir prácticamente.
It's the large boarded-up building behind the hospital.
Por los
You
heridos, la
can't use
enfermedad,
it.
madre mía.
The key I gave...
Tiene que ser algo horrible.
That's all for now.
Me cago en la leche que
Good
comer.
evening, Matt.
It's my son who needs me.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Morton.
Vale, genial.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take...
Are you really that rich?
Yes. Thanks to my husband.
May I ask,
I'm a teacher.
what do you think of your reception?
I have had the uttermost...
Is there something in particular that's...
Some of the staff were not especially...
Tell me more about your arrival.
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
Ah, vale, hostia, me jodas.
She charged you for...
Yes, and I paid without question.
I share your concern.
I don't expect...
Vale, vale, hostia, hay aquí un rollo...
Good.
Hostia puta. Ha dicho Hawkins y el conductor de la ambulancia.
No,
Really?
I don't want to talk.
I suppose that this pain is the reason.
Yes.
Could you at least tell me?
Habla, habla.
Mort.
How painful?
So painful, I'd rather not talk.
I'm sure you realize a doc...
Not really.
I see. Then
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk.
how painful?
So painful.
I'll let you... Good evening. Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seemed...
My mother just wants the best for me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in...
It's not me you have to convince, Doctor.
Is your mother bothering you? As you...
That's tempting, Doctor.
Tell me about yourself.
I don't want to talk.
Joder, está...
I have to...
Así puedo hablar un poco con...
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Miss.
Me ha dicho ha dicho la enfermera Hawkins. Nada, esto no... Este es el otro. Ok, me gustaría salir del este en un sitio, o sea, la salida principal, pero no tengo ni puta idea de dónde está. Esta es, coño.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye now.
Hijo puta, eres un hijo de
Good
puta.
evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some...
What? Yep.
I retrieved your wallet.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what?
Not at all, Milton.
Good.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit.
No es una desesperación.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fucked.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know...
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such
Hijo
an
de puta.
immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then.
Hijo de puta.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your...
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free?
Have you no
Don't you see the city is crumbling down?
Goodbye,
Vale, hay que hablar con la enfermera Hawkins. Este. Aquí está. Hija de puta.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins. Pepper, I know you...
Yes. Milton Hooks is my man.
I have no intention of
The
reporting...
rules say I...
Is
Bla
he
bla 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 bla. Sé lo que dice que es muy importante. Perdona que lo sabe tanto, pero es que es como están diciendo cosas que, bueno, podéis decirme aquí yo a 25 minutos y me estoy saltando conversaciones que simplemente no dicen nada más que cosas que se repiten sin más, o sea, que tampoco, no sé, voy a dejarlo porque...
Are you his accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By abusing the sick and poor?
No. It is my definition of getting out of this useless life once and for all.
Why do you...
¿Por qué lo hicieron?
Why not? Most of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead, or will be soon. Don't you see the futility of all this?
Pusieron un precio de esperanza.
You put a price on hope. This goes against everything you swore to uphold as a nurse.
Report me then, Dr. Reed. Report the little nurse and keep on lying about the surgical errors, the wrong dosages and diagnostics that we all covered for the sake of our colleagues.
Qué hijos de puta.
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me.
Goodbye, nurse.
Este se va.
Goodbye for now.
Este había salvado, ¿no?
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory.
Ah, no, coño, es el que salvamos, joder.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
Ah, la que se quiere una vampiresa.
Enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Que es una banda
Who leads the
de...
gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Madre mía, no me acabo con ninguno de los nombres, eh.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Do you know Tom Watts? The bartender from the
Ah, vale, ese es el que encubrió al
I
otro.
met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Pues a la misma aldea que no conoces.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton?
I manage a night asylum.
Ah, esto es... Sacerdote,
Are you
tampoco
a
que
priest?
Not
invento.
at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith, willing...
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Ah, claro, porque no sabe que es un vampiro, entonces...
How do
Si
you
haces
feel,
así,
Mr.
¡ah!
Hampton?
Le echas para atrás.
Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William
Vale.
drank so much of my blood in his madness.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and
Thank you, sir.
have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, man.
Esta sigue con su rollo raro. Vale, si hay que subir arriba. ¿Tú quién eres? Chadana, Raquel Chadana. Nada. Nada. ¿Koshik? Ah, vale, el chico es el que está enfermo, con lo cual tiene una sangre de peor calidad.
Not now.
Ok. Uf, vamos a ir ya a hacer algo, me cago en la leche. A ver, ¿qué tengo que fabricar? ¿Qué supone que tengo que fabricar? Elabora un tratamiento para el agotamiento. ¿Y cómo coño sé qué es el qué medicamento es para el agotamiento? Artículo sobre Econs. Es una oportunidad poco común y casi un privilegio poder aproximarse a un vampiro, observar sus más que fascinantes rasgos físicos y psicológicos con una mirada científica y racional. Estas son algunas de las más increíbles capacidades que he podido observar personalmente durante los últimos 10 años de entrevistas a vampiros, o Econ, como prefieren ya hacerse llamar. Velocidad sobrenatural. Un vampiro puede actuar y moverse como un mortal en todo momento, pero un ojo bien entrenado podría apreciar unos sentidos mucho más desarrollados, una capacidad de reacción mucho más rápida que la de cualquier mortal. En determinadas situaciones, alarma, sorpresa, necesidad de escapar, he visto un vampiro desplazarse tan rápido que casi podía parecer que se desvaneciera para reaparecer en otro lugar. El ojo humano no es capaz de seguir sus movimientos cuando actúan con tanta celeridad, pero no se trata de ningún tipo de transporte o de desmaterialización, tan solo es una velocidad sobrenatural. Para mí, es como los atributos de los gatos, que permiten correr, esquivar o saltar más lejos y más rápido que nosotros. También he observado que esa velocidad parece agotarlos, por lo que están sujetos a limitaciones físicas. Mermerismo. Una de las más poderosas capacidades que poseen los vampiros es el de obligar a los mortales a obedecerlos. Yo denomino a este rasgo de mesmerismo. Pero poco tiene que ver con la capacidad de los mortales para alterar el estado mental de un sujeto. Un vampiro puede doblegar a su voluntad a un mortal e incluso puede destruir su mente. Un vampiro al que entrevisté llegó a contarme que cuando más se resista al sujeto, más permanente resulta el daño, como si el vampiro pudiese literalmente fracturar la psique de su víctima. Ese mismo vampiro le explicó que lleva tiempo llevar a dominar una habilidad así, y que el resultado podía variar en gran medida de un sujeto a otro. Implantar un recuerdo falso, borrar uno doloroso, las posibilidades son infinitas y aterradoras. Debilidad por la sangre. Esta podría ser la más catastrófica de las capacidades de los vampiros, pues no es sino la causa de un gran número de desgracias tanto para nosotros como para ellos. Los vampiros anhelan la sangre, deben emplear su voluntad para enfrentarse a sí mismos de beber sin control cada gota de sangre que ven. Necesitan sangre para funcionar y para activar totalmente sus rasgos sobrenaturales. Un vampiro famélico puede estar muy débil, aunque no llegue a morir de hambre ni de sed. Ese impulso, esa necesidad de sangre, podría explicar la gran fascinación que sienten por ella los vampiros. Un vampiro me confesó que en una ocasión que a veces le cegaba la sangre, pues su olor y su atractivo podían llegar a ser demasiado fuertes. Cuando se concentran, los vampiros casi pueden llegar a ver la sangre a su alrededor, en los cálidos cuerpos, a través de los muros, en un arma supuestamente limpia, etc. Ese mismo vampiro también me contó que puede distinguir si la sangre de un mortal está sana o enferma, y que en determinados casos puede sentir incluso enfermedades y ropas u objetos infectados en una habitación. Si es eso cierto, podría tener tantas aplicaciones médicas que casi merece la pena creer. Para el agotamiento. Neumonía, bronquitis, resfriado. Agotamiento. Vale, cuidado. Turno de noche. Vale. Aquí tienes.
Finally, you've returned.
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the...
Many thanks, Doctor.
Enfermedades. Las enfermedades empeoran la calidad de la sangre de un ciudadano. Usa medicina adecuada para curarlos. Habla con el paciente de la habitación que hay detrás de Dorothy para comprobar su estado de salud. Vale. Una rata en el hospital.
Good evening.
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir.
Ah, mira.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude.
Ah.
How
so painful, I'd rather not.
Tell me.
I don't want...
Pero si cabrón, si te he
I
quitado.
have to go.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require...
I have other concerns.
¿Cómo era para ver? Era... no. Sano. Ah, vale, aquí es para ver. Este tiene agotamiento. Y este tiene recuperando. Este es Clickox. ¿Y dónde se ve a este hombre? Entonces, puedo... ¿Y cómo selecciono para ver dónde está este hombre?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Clickox. Tentación de sangre. No olvides que la sangre de un ciudadano te proporciona un impulso masivo de experiencia. Busca ciudadanos con un nivel igual o inferior a tu nivel de cautivar. Elija sabiamente. Que no voy a matar a nadie, amigo. ¿Quién es ese hombre? No, es una mujer. Qué paja. ¿Ah? Hay una enfermedad. ¿Hay visto algo enfermo por ahí? No. Vale, vamos a hablar con Edward Sansi. A ver, es interesante tener siempre alguna drogas de... ¿Qué haces? ¿De Shakespeare?
Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
Soy una paradoja viviente, es verdad.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work
Sí, ve
for a long
que
time.
es experto en transfusión de sangre y se convierte en un vampiro.
Brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
No hay nada por qué disculparse.
There's no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan.
Perfecto.
Something that will require...
Please.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan.
Lady
Lady
Ashbury
Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would
accept it.
Vale. ¿Puedo hablar con él?
Do you need? Then ask her.
You mentioned...
Certainly.
Madre mía.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
El destino, sí.
Yet you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
Since you seem quite the expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings, and the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
The sun. The morning following my transformation. Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged. But it will not destroy you.
Sí, lo leímos en un libro. Que no lo...
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed. And blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
Entonces, ¿qué? ¿Puedo matar?
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide healthcare.
Joder, se habla demasiado se habla un montón en este juego, me cago en la puta. Se habla muchísimo.
But to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight
Que sí, no me vendas el panfleto, por Dios.
The man we pursued. He was a
Bla, un Skull.
Speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
How do Skulls come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a
Una subespecie inferior a los sí.
From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Son esclavos de la sangre. No de los vampiros, son esclavos de la sangre. Serán humanos o personas que se han convertido o vampiros que se han cedido ante la sangre.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a skull?
A skull is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
Pues vamos a dejarlo por aquí, pero antes vamos a ir a por aquí, ¿no? ¿Dónde está nuestra habitación? Sí, vamos a dormir para subir de nivel. Vamos a subir de aquí de nivel. Y vamos a ver qué aprendemos. ¿Qué aprendemos? ¿Qué aprendemos? Me gustaría aprender esto. Una habilidad tocha, que no requiera energía, que no requiese... Desgarrón. Al ser depredadores por naturaleza, los vampiros gozan de atributos muy característicos, como garras en lugar de uñas. Estas armas naturales son capaces de atravesar el tejido con facilidad y resultan de los más útiles para cortar las arterias de cualquier presa. Si usas tus garras, comenzarás a tener una visión distinta de los humanos. Carne blanda y tierna. Pero también quiero... Me gustaría esto, curarme cuando muerda. Esto es la sangre que absorbemos. Esto aumenta el daño, en sí no me... Tácticas. Muelle. Ejecuta movimientos naturales sobre el objetivo infligiendo daño al aterrizar. Velo sombrío. Cambia, utiliza tu energía para completar... Utilizas tu energía para desaparecer entre las sombras y volverte invisible para la mirada de enemigos. Si te mueves en este estado, consumirás más energía. Saldrás de las sombras al atacar o esquivar un golpe. O bien, si se agota tu energía. No me interesa eso. Ay, que se cure, que me cura al morder. Vamos a darle. Entonces supuestamente tenemos que ponernos la habilidad esa en un punto, ¿no? O sea, en uno de los gatillos, supongo. Eventos importantes de distrito. Todas las noches las consecuencias de tus acciones mejoran o empeoran el estado de salud del distrito. Al nivel puede verse reducido a causa de las enfermedades de los ciudadanos. Eventos importantes. Cuantas más vidas arrebates, peor será el nivel de salud de un distrito. Si el estado de salud de un distrito se encuentra por debajo del nivel crítico, se sumirá el caos. Tú decides su destino. Ah, mira, vale. Entonces puedo crear... Ahora vamos a hablar con este... Vale. Son los muelles que supongo que podremos volver más adelante. Lo que vamos a hacer va a ser crearnos pociones de esas. Vamos a crearlas ya. Vamos a crear pociones del agotamiento este. Solución de hipoclorito de sodio. Pues no tenemos. Ah, pues entonces vamos a dejarlo por aquí. Pues nada. Se hará muchísimo. Se hará mucho. Bla, bla, bla. Bla, bla, bla. Sin parar, tío. Impresionante. Pero claro, es parte de... Para que te den misiones secundarias. Porque aquí no te ponen quién te da misiones secundarias. Tienes que buscarlas. Con lo cual hay que hablar. Hay que hablar mucho. Y supongo que más adelante, cuando descubramos las distintas personas, ya decidiré a quién me como y quién no. Tal vez no me coma nadie. Tal vez me coma muchos. O yo que sé, o tal vez me coma muy pocos. Pues nada. Muchas gracias por el vídeo, espero que os haya gustado y nos vemos en futuros vídeos. Venga, mañana más y mejor.